guys, welcome back to Drive Spark. I'm Vedant Jouhari and today we've got our hands on something super special, the Ultraviolette F77 Mach 2. Now we all know the Mach 1 was a beautifully engineered machine and it really stood out in the electric motorcycle market. But now Ultraviolette has pushed their boundaries, pushed their limits and come out with this once again beautiful piece of machinery. So let's see what the F77 Mach 2 has to offer you guys.
I'm one up, I'm winning. I'm shooting my shot and I'm already grinning. You know that I'm one up, I'm one of you sending. You know you've been cutting, you know I'm ascending. Go take a look at the pen, then I'm making my money like it's never ending. I took all my losses, I roll with the bosses. I know where they cost and I'm so independent.
Now talking about the design of the motorcycle, the first thing we notice is that nowhere on the exterior do we see any fasteners, any bolts, any nuts, screws or anything. It's completely clean and this whole aesthetic is followed right from the front till the rear of the motorcycle, not missing even a single point anywhere. Now the color that we have is this white, black and this red scheme, and in my opinion, it is the most attractive color option of the Mach 2. Now the chassis that we get on the F77 has gone through extensive R&D and gone through extensive planning, and this is now the 7th generation chassis that Ultraviolette is using on this motorcycle. Now on top of that, they've also come up with a perfect 50-50 weight distribution in the front and the rear of the motorcycle. However, while riding you do feel that the front is a little heavier. More on the riding impressions when I'm actually on the motorcycle.
I'm one up, I'm winning. I'm shooting my shot and I'm already grinning. You know that I'm one up, I'm one of you sending. You know you've been cutting, you know I'm ascending. Go take a look at the pen, then I'm making my money like it's never ending. I took all my losses, I roll with the bosses. I know where they cost and I'm so independent.
So now talking about the ground clearance, we took the F77 off-roading, we took it through some really slippery areas and not once did the underbelly scrape. So what's the ground clearance of this, you might be wondering? It comes in at 160 millimeters and the seat height of this is at 700 millimeters. So it's really perfect for city conditions.
Ultraviolette has been on a roll. The Mach 1 collected the most awards of any two-wheeler in 2024 and the riders have already put over 2 million kilometers on these motorcycles. Also, the F77 has achieved a crazy 7,000 kilometers in just 20 days, going through temperatures ranging from minus 15 degrees to plus 47 degrees.
Now this chassis is also really strong and really durable and it can hold 7 times the actual weight of this motorcycle, and that equals up to 15,000 kgs of payload on the F77 Mach 2. Now that is something really impressive for an electric motorcycle or for a motorcycle in general. So the design of the motorcycle, as I said, features no nuts or bolts, and that is the first time in the world that a motorcycle has come out with a design as such. Now another first in the world for Ultraviolette is the 10 levels of regen that this motorcycle gets. Yes, 10 levels of regen, all the way from 0 to 9, with 0 being absolutely no resistance on the rear wheel and 9 basically meaning that your rear wheel will brake for you without you having to press the brakes. Now for the regen also helps you save your brake pads and extends your brake pad life as it does all the braking for you. It basically takes all the heat generated and it sends it back to stop the motorcycle from moving. On top of that, the Ultraviolette comes with another first in the world, something called a dynamic stability control. Now this is a patented feature by Ultraviolette and it basically monitors your ABS levels, your traction control levels and your tilt so that you don't lose too much control of the motorcycle. It keeps you under control and it keeps you stable no matter what. Now on top of that, we also get 3 levels of traction control on this. The first one being the most intrusive, where it really doesn't allow any slippage of the wheel. Level 2 being for your regular city riding and level 3 being for the track or your sporty riding. We also get an option to completely switch off traction control, as for some of us that might just be the better option.
Ultraviolette's Recon variant offers a range of 323 kilometers as per the IDC, and this lets the F77 go for long rides with ease. Now this 323 kilometer range is a whole 16 kilometer improvement over the Mach 1. It's also the only production electric two-wheeler to come with dual channel ABS, and that too the rear ABS is also switchable.
So now some of the extra technology we get on the F77 is we get something called Violet AI. Now that is Ultraviolette's own AI module, which basically collects 4,000 data points every single second from each of the sensors on the motorcycle, and that suggests you your riding style, your riding mode, regen levels, your traction control settings. It basically provides you the ideal riding condition for your riding style. So in terms of safety, you guys might be wondering what Ultraviolette has to offer you. Well, it comes with this system called the Deltaw watch, and it basically alerts the owner if someone's trying to steal the vehicle or move it around or tow it. Now I'll show you how that works. So now the motorcycle's off, I'm standing away from it, and if I just shake it, so that was basically the Deltaw watch in action. Not only will we hear it on the motorcycle, it will also send an alert to the owners on the Ultraviolette app.
The Deltaw watch system gives us alerts such as movement, fall and tow for when we're away from the motorcycle. It sends an alert to our phone, and also an alarm rings from the motorcycle.
Love wasn't daydream until you came dancing into my life.
The anti-collision warning system uses flashing brake lights when we're hard on brakes or when we're on level 9 regen. The battery pack that we get boasts a 5-level safety system and comes with a UV battery warranty program that covers up to 8 lakh kilometers, a trip from here to the moon and back.
Back to the beat, back to a love so real. Take me to the feeling. You got my heart in a spell. Take me to the feeling. You got me falling again.
So now on board the F77 Mark II, it's an absolute dream to ride. As you can see, you can hit corners with ease, with absolute confidence. The suspension setup is wonderful, and riding it on ballistic mode, that is something else altogether. You can tuck in the motorcycle and push it to its limits. Braking hard on it gives you confidence. You don't feel uneasy even though it doesn't have gears. And man, when you get onto roads like these that we're on right now, the F77 is truly in its element. As you can see, the bike is bouncing around quite a lot. However, when you're on it, you really don't feel anything. It's absolutely stable, very strong, and even while coming to a stop like we are right now under hard braking, this bike does not fail to disappoint. Now, it's just not enough. No matter how much you ride on ballistic mode, you just want to keep pushing it, keep going, and when you come to a stop, it's like, I'm back in reality. And when you're on this bike, you do not want to be in reality. So now let's actually use the F77 for what we got it for, putting it through the test, through all the ride modes, and see how it actually performs. So now we're hitting Glide. On Glide is the lowest power output we get on the F77, and it's very comfortable to ride. It's perfect for the city. It's very easy. You're still doing decent speeds like around 65-70 kilometers per hour, and however the power is just not delivered ASAP. It takes some time, it's very gradual, and it's really easy to use. When we're on glide mode, the throttle response changes. It's a lot more easier. It's not as direct. You need to give extra throttle to get a little extra power out. However, in the other modes such as ballistic, the moment you're on throttle, there's instant response. So now when we switch into combat, the power output is a lot more visible. It's a lot more evident, and honestly fun for the city. I wouldn't say it's the best for the city, but it's definitely a fun ride in the city. You can really enjoy yourself on combat mode. Now even with this, the throttle response has changed. It's a little more direct, not as direct as ballistic, but not as easy as glide is, and it's just overall a very easy mode to ride on. You don't need to be constantly focusing because of the amount of power that it's delivering. However, you aren't bored while riding the bike. It is giving you enough power to actually enjoy. And so now let's talk about the suspension setup. The suspension setup through all riding modes stays the same. There's nothing fancy done to the suspension. The front suspension is really stiff. I wouldn't say really stiff, but it is stiff for a sporty motorcycle. That's what we need. And when you go hard on the front brakes, you do feel the front drop down, and that is what's required on these bikes to actually stop us. The rear suspension, on the other hand, is a little softer, but it's not too soft that makes it difficult to ride or difficult to tackle corners like how we are now. All in all, the suspension setup on this is pretty good.
So now after the ride I just had, let me quickly tell you about the seating position on the Mach 2. So as you can see, I'm 6'1". I can keep my legs completely flat on the motorcycle. You do feel a little bit of weight initially, but as you keep riding, you get used to it. Now in terms of the rider's triangle, Ultraviolette said that they worked on it to make it a little more easy for the riders, as the first generation F77 was really aggressive. So this one, as you can see, I still am in a slightly committed position. However, I'm not completely tucked in, nor am I fully leaned in front like this. I'm still sitting relatively comfortable, and it really feels like I'm on a sports bike but for the city. So that was how this bike feels when I'm sitting on it.
Take me to the feeling. You got me falling again.
The Ultraviolette F77 Mach 2's charging port is made from a strong aluminium to last longer. Also, this charging port resembles that of a petrol tank in an ICE vehicle. The custom panniers that we can opt for hold the entire fast charger offered with the F77. We also get a whole lot of technologically advanced features such as hill hold assist, Deltaw watch, Violet AI, and a whole lot of others.
So now talking about the battery on the F77. Well, it comes in two battery options. One, a 7.1 kilowatt hour for the F77, the base variant, and a 10.3 kilowatt charger for the F77 Recon, and that's the top end variant of the Ultraviolette Mach 2 series.
Let's get dance.
Now in terms of charging, well, this is one of the charging stations we get for the Ultraviolette. It's known as the UV Supernova, and this has a 6 and a 12 kilowatt hour charger. So right now I'm plugging in the charger into our motorcycle, and this allows the Ultraviolette to charge from 20% to 80% in less than 60 minutes. That's less than 1 hour for you. Ultraviolette claims around 40 minutes for a 20 to 80% charge on this. Now once you're done, it's really simple. You just need to pull it out, take it back through the charging station, push it in, and now we're done. All in all, this was the Ultraviolette F77 Mach 2. It comes in a huge variety of color options, and I'm pretty sure whichever one you'd like, Ultraviolette has it for you. Now for the price, the base variant starts at rupees 2.99 lakhs, and the top end variant, the Ultraviolette F77 Recon, comes at a price of rupees 3.99 lakhs ex showroom. So let us know what you think of this motorcycle down below, and which one of the features is your favorite. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. My name is Vedant Jouhari, signing off.